noise especially. All right, thank you very much. Very happy to see so many people joining us tonight from all parts of the globe. And of course, there's people circling the moon. They know that the world is one, and our Interfaith group knows that the world is one. And let's hope the world will really be a healthy, united body sometime soon. A little later, I'll introduce our presenter, Mr. Abbas Raza Alvi, who will be speaking on Interfaith, Solidarity in a Divided World, Pathways to Peace Through Shared Humanity. And I'd like to ask our presenter, if you don't mind, I'll put this on screen, but please, whatever words you like to use to acknowledge people and country.
Do you want me to start it?
Yes, please.
Look, thanks a lot. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I acknowledge my presence and everybody else's presence on the land of the indigenous people, respecting their elders, past, present, and future, who have given us an opportunity that we can migrate, we can live in this beautiful part of our world, our country, Australia, where we can share our cultural values, ethnic values, interfaith values, faiths or non-faith values together. Thanks for everyone to giving me an opportunity to listen my talk. I leave it to the program MC to handle the program from here onwards. And I also have the special acknowledging and honoring Indigenous land and people, which you have on your screen. I will read it. There is a widespread acknowledgement that the present day structure of society are ill-prepared to address the needs of humanity in its current travels. Much that widely assumed to be certain and unshakable is being questioned, and the resulting ferment is producing a longing for a unifying vision. The chorus of voices raised in support of oneness, equality, and justice shows how many share these aspirations for their societies from Redburn Message 2023 Universal House of Justice. We acknowledge and pay respect to the past, present, and future traditional custodians and elders of this nation we call Australia, and the continuation of culture, spiritual, and educational practices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island peoples. We acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander tribes were the first sovereign nations of the Australian continent. The Gadigal of the Eora nations are the traditional custodian of this place we now call Sydney, and Wangal people are traditional owners of Burwood. I'm based here in Western Sydney in the Daru clan. Thank you.
Thank you, Abbas. So for those watching via YouTube, we'll have a short devotional program, piece of music, 7 readings of another piece of music on the theme of human rights. And this first song is, I've used a picture of Ruhula, who was martyred as a boy, but this song is essentially about human rights.
Father, I won't be home tonight. The gods, they came, I didn't cry. It happened like you said it might, and I told them what you taught me. I said the earth is one country, and everyone is family, that all nations should live in peace, all religions too. And now I'm glad that I am favored, don't deserve this gift. Father, please remember me. Mother, do not grieve. Sister, I won't be home tonight. There are some things that I should write. Yes, it was me who broke your kite, took your colored pencils. I should have told you long before. Hope you won't be bothered now. I think of you with fondest thoughts. Please think of me that way. And now I'm going to meet my Maker. I'm going to meet my Lord. I'm going to meet Abdul-Baha much sooner than I thought. And I know that I am favored and don't deserve this gift. Father, please remember me. Mother, do not grieve. Mother, I won't be home tonight. The guards, they came, I didn't fight. Happened like you said it might, and I told them what you taught me. I said the earth is one country, and everyone is family, that all nations should live in peace, and all religions too. And now I'm going to meet my Maker. Going to meet my Lord. I'm going to meet Baha much sooner than I thought. And I know that I am favored and don't deserve this gift. Father, please remember me. Sweet Mother, do not grieve.
Let us have concord with our own people and concord with people who are a stranger to us. Create between us and the strangers a unity of hearts. May we unite in our midst, unite in our purposes, and not fight against the divine spirit with us. Let not the battle cry rise against many slain, nor the arrows of the war god fall with the break of the day. Hindu writings.
This I ask thee, tell me truly, O Ahura, the religion that is best for all mankind, the religion based on truth, which should prosper all that is mine, the religion which establishes our actions in order and justice by the divine songs of perfect piety, which has for its intelligent desire of desires the desire of thee, O Mazda. Zoroastrian writings.
Having abandoned the destruction of life, the recluse Gautama abstains from the destruction of life. He has laid aside the rod and the sword and dwells conscientious, full of kindness, compassionate for the welfare of all living beings. Buddha's writings.
Listen to what the Lord says. He has done you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require for you of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Jewish writings.
Colin, please read that one because he's gone.
Come, you are blessed by my Father. Take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Truly, I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Christian writings.
Down with them the book of truth, that it may decide the district of men. And God guided those who believe to the truth of that about which by his explanation they had defeated, for God guided whom he leaded into the straight path. Islamic writing.
The divine religions must be the cause of oneness among men, and the means of unity and love. They must promulgate universal peace, free man from every prejudice, bestow joy and gladness, exercise kindness to all men, and do away with every difference and distinction. Just as Baha'u'llah, addressing the world of humanity, saith, O people, ye are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. At most it is this, that some souls are ignorant, they must be educated. Some are sick, they must be healed. Some are still of tender age, they must be helped to attain maturity. And the utmost kindness must be shown to them. Baha'i writings.
I think you're wonderful when somebody says that to me. I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. When we practice this phrase in the most honest way, find something special in someone each day. We lift up the world one heart at a time. It all starts by saying this one simple line. I think you're wonderful when somebody says that to me. same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. When each one of us feels important inside, loving and giving and glad we're alive. Oh, what a difference we'll make in each day. And all because someone decided to say, I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too.
Thank you very much to the readers. And now my great pleasure to introduce our presenter for tonight. Abbas Raza Alvi works closely with diverse communities, artists, writers, faith leaders, young people, and grassroots organizations, creating spaces where dialogue can replace division and empathy can overcome misunderstanding. His work consistently emphasizes respect, dignity, and the importance of listening to multiple perspectives and in an increasingly polarized world. Abbas believes that thoughtful narratives and ethical storytelling can counter fear-based discourse and contribute to healthier, more informed public conversations, which sounds like exactly what we need. And Abbas will be talking about interfaith solidarity in a divided world, pathways to peace through shared humanity. Thank you, Abbas.
Thanks, Colin. Thank you, Vasanta. And thanks everyone who is present here. Let me just put up a comment about your group. This is probably the second time I'm participating on your group. And I see a very unique style of the interfaith promotion by your activities in your messages, as well as in your integration of different faith together. Very different and very appealing style. So I congratulate every one of you, whosoever is involved into arranging this event. The second thing is that I'm also expecting that today's talk will be going out of your group. In fact, I do think that some people from my side are also, my organization, one of the organization, Indian Christian Society of Australia, are also joining. So I welcome everybody, and just want to start my few words of speech with a sentence that a child killed in the world, whether the child is Jew background, Christian background, Muslim background, Hindu background, Buddhist background, faith or non-faith, child is a child. Killing a child is really a crime which can never be acceptable anywhere in the world. This child could have been tomorrow a prime minister of a country, could have been a doctor saving the life, could have been a teacher teaching thousands and thousands of people. So killing of a child is certainly such thing which everybody who believes in that.
No matter what anybody says, she took the bill back.
Sorry? Can you listen to me? Can you get my voice clear?
Yes, you're loud and clear. There's just someone not muted. It's fixed now.
Sorry. So that is what is very important. Faith representatives, community leaders, and distinguished guests, thank of you for inviting me to share my thoughts on the theme Interfaith Solidarity in a Divided World, Pathways to Peace through Shared Humanity. First, many of us came to this beautiful country our adopted country, Australia, seeking a better life and a peaceful future for our families. Because of that, peace and harmony, these two things, are not abstract ideas for us. In fact, they are deeply personal values and shape our everyday life. Peace and harmony. Not long ago, while I was speaking in one of the university here in Sydney, I reflected on the fact that this city, our city, Sydney, is one of the most diverse in the world. You go anywhere in the world and you compare it, Sydney, with any part of the world, you'll find this is a very different city. So our city in Australia, it stands among the most multicultural nations on earth. A city which you can truly call it multicultural city. People of every faith and of no faith live side by side here. They enrich our society and their traditions, their wisdoms, and their creativity. The diversity is not really a challenge for us, and it should not be a challenge for us, but it should be a gift to cherish. And that diversity, we should respect it. This is very important. In such a society, in our society, interfaith dialogue is not an optional matter that you can just leave it interfaith. No, it is essential, it is important. And importantly, this dialogue must also include those who do not follow faith tradition. Sorry, but I believe in that. And it is a 34% population of the Australia doesn't have any faith. And they are, most of them are very peaceful. So I think that when we are doing an interfaith event, we should have the faith and non-faith people together. When we bring everyone to the table, we build bridges where walls might otherwise rise. So let us build the bridges. Christian, Muslim, Jews, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikhs, indigenous communities, Bhai community from you, and people of all beliefs and non-beliefs can come together, share perspectives, and discover that beneath our differences lies the sheer humanity. Through meaningful dialogue, we come to understand that compassion, justice, and peace are values common to all traditions. When I'm talking about the traditions, I'm talking about the ethnic traditions and cultural traditions. We recognize that no religion teaches hatred. This is one of the facts. Sometimes I do listen in some of the events that this book is saying this, that book is saying this. But let me tell you that if you really read the book from the start to the end and understand the concept, you will see they are all on the same line. They're talking about the one God only. And if there are the two gods, there could have been the nuclear war there. So there's only one God. And we all respect that, accept that. Even then, we fight among ourselves. But interfaith dialogue helps break down stereotypes, reduce the fears, and replace suspicion with trust. For Australia, the value of interfaith engagement is especially significant. It teaches us how to live together with dignity, how to disagree without hostility, and how to transform our differences into opportunities for the growth, growth of the nation, for the growth of the community. When we look at the wider world today, we see conflicts and suffering in many regions, from the Middle East to Eastern Europe. And you go to the country, you'll find that these sufferings are happening. Every day, the children are killed. Every day, the seniors are killed. Every day, a mother has lost the son or lost the husband, and the orphans are there. Every day, this is happening. How to transfer and this is happening because of our differences. And every time we see these differences, people try to muck around a story about the religious differences. If you really analyze, if you really research, and you believe on the things that all religions are teaching, love and harmony, you'll find that there are the issues which are totally non-religious, which brings these differences. They are the issues of the leaderships, There are the issues of self-greediness, self-control, which may be coming from the religious background or non-religious background, it doesn't matter. We have a power, we have to demonstrate our power, and we are not worried that how many people are killing because of our ignorance, because of our selfishness. We want to have everything in our hand. We don't want to consider that there's a next door neighbor who hasn't got the food. We forget about these facts. When we look at the wider world today, we see conflicts and sufferings. In a world often marked the division, Australia has the opportunity to offer something different, very different. A model of coexistence where faith and non-faith are not lines of the separation. They are not having the dividers, but sources of collective wisdoms. We are living here, faith and non-faith people together. 60 plus population is faith oriented and 34 plus population is non-faith oriented, but they are living together. They are living together. Multiculturalism, social cohesion, peace, and harmony are deeply interconnected. We cannot separate them. The shape and quality of our daily lives with the future of our communities. I believe everyone gathered here today in our event, whatever the numbers we have, it doesn't matter, would agree that we all speak peace in our homes. We believe that we should be living, our families should be living in a peaceful environment. Our children are getting best education in the schools and universities. Our grandkids should go in a school in a better environment. That's all of us we want. None of us wants that our kids should be killed in the war. And no one wants that our kid should create the wars, differences, fights. No. Everybody wants that we should live in peace and harmony. I believe everyone gathered here today certainly will agree on this, what I'm talking about. We need peace in our workplace, at our homes, across our cities, street, suburbs, in whole Australia and throughout the world. We need the peace. Let us commit ourselves to this journey. Journey is very difficult. For me, it is easy to pass on and say in few words something about the peace and harmony. But the commitment ourselves is difficult task. Sometimes we take the influence of our religious belief. Sometimes we take the influence of our ethnicity. Sometimes we take the influence of our origin country where we are born. And what is happening there, we want to bring it here also. We do want. But let us think that whether the population of the Australia, few of us can bring the life of everyone peaceful and harmonious. Because these are things are very, let us encourage our schools, our workplace, our councils, our communities, our organizations, our association to have the inclusive dialogue, not as occasional event, but as an ongoing practices embedded in Australian life. And I really want to congratulate you again that I see that you are doing this event weekly, irrespective of how many people you have it, but you are keep on doing it. Because I believe the dialogue is not just about words. It is about building trust, nurturing respects and planting seed of peace for future generations, which has yet to come. In my country of birth, I was born in India, as you know. There is a Sanskrit word I repeatedly mention which says Vasudev Kutumbakam. It means that the whole world is one family. If we truly believe in this idea, if we do that and live it in our daily interactions, in our place of worship, our educational institutions, in our workplace, it has the power to transform our lives and our society. Really, we do have this word in the books, but practically, I'm sorry to mention that it is not practically operative as it should be. At the same time, we must also reflect on the realities of our words. And this is what is a very important message I would love to share with you. Global military spending continues to rise significantly, reaching unprecedented levels in the recent years. Even here in Australia, defense budget continues to grow. See, this is what is really very important. Global military spending is about 4 trillion Australian dollar. It has increased this year 6 to 7% rise. And you will not surprise you. I'm sure that you people are all know these details. I'm just reading it from the Google. War in Ukraine, Russia, war in Middle East, conflicts in Australia are booming that. Global military spending is at an all-time high. During the last 12 years period of time, this spending has continuously increased. And there is no sign of the decreasing. In Australia's defense budget, in 2025, we have a $59 billion worth budget. Now, 2026, we have a $62 billion budget, about 5.1% increase. And I want to give this message to you. And not only I want pass message, I humbly request you, please convey this message to your neighbors and everybody, your friends, in your office or wherever you go, wherever you visit. Australia's health budget in 2025 was 130 billion. And 2026 is about 135 billion, so about 3.8 increase. Defense budget is increased to 5.1%. Health budget is increased to 3.8%. And I just give you an idea that a decent hospital in Australian condition, about 400 to 450 beds, can be built up in $1 billion, which is the 1% increase. And that's what we want, that the government should think, rather than we create more issues on the security and safety, which is important. I do know it is important, but I'll come back to you later on that subject. But we should spend more money on the health, on the education, on the schools, on the infrastructure. Because if we will have the faith, interfaith dialogue, successful dialogue, if we'll have the peace and harmony in our country, then we don't need the safety and security on that end. Because who is benefited? Are you benefited? Am I benefited? All the taxpayers are benefited with that. Every one of us shelling out our dollar for giving the money for pressing the need of the guns and bullets. Who gets the benefit? There's very few companies you can take on the fingertips, and I don't want to take name. You yourself have to do the research on that. That's what the money is going to, few hands. As many as guns, bullets, aeroplanes, fighting planes, and you're making it, nuclear bombs and all those things. It is all our taxpayers' money, which could have been spent on the education or health. It is used there. And see how peaceful Australia was 30 years back. Number of you are living in Australia more than that, at least more than me. I'm here only from last 35 years. But when I migrated here, I have seen how peaceful life was that. How much the trust we have in each other. We used to see just beyond the Parramatta, there were several shops, you will see it, where the people just used to put it up their veggies, fruits, and there was a board that put up a 10 cents or 30 cents or 50 cents and take the bucket. How honest we were there. How good we were in our faith. Did we have a problem of the Muslims, Christians, Jews, Hindus, Sikhs at that time? So something is happening, and it is important. It is very important for the people who believe in interfaith that let's do something that we can reduce this budget on the government and use for the more on the other side. This calls for reflection. How do we respond to difference of race, religion, culture, and identity is important. Do we allow fear and division to take root in our communities, or do we choose a different path, one that brings us together, enabling us to raise our family in safety, dignity, and mutual respect? It's important. These are not the just word of my speech. This is really important. That's what we need to achieve it. This is a challenge before us, especially through the people who are promoting interfaith dialogue. See, one of my organizations where I'm involved, Indian Cuisine Society of Australia, from the last 10 years, actively promoting interfaith dialogue. And Mr. Perry has attended our program. I would love to invite some of you to our programs, and I would love that we should have exchange of the speakers also together. And we should really come together on one platform where we can say that we are not brother by just using the words brother, but by our hearts we are the brothers to each other. We respect every religion, we respect every faith, whether the faith or non-faith is the same things for us. That's what we need to do there. This is a challenge. They must, it is very much important that perhaps we need the new approaches, deeper engagement, and stronger communities in action in our everyday lives. I hope that today's meeting and the presence of such thoughtful and committed individuals will inspire each of us to take meaningful steps, even a small step towards building peace in our own circles of influence. I don't think that a small number matters, not at all. Actually, small numbers are good. It depends upon how good are you, and you are good. Peace is a journey of 1,000 miles, and it begins with one single step. Let us move from thinking only about, let's not talk about you and me. Let us talk about us. That is the true Australian feeling. That's what we should promote. Is let us care not only for ourselves, but for each other. Through our paths, though maybe different. Maybe our paths are different. You are X religion, somebody is Y religion. Maybe our way of worship is different. Maybe our interfaith religious feelings are different. But let's take the step. Let's take the step. Though our paths may differ, we are all ultimately moving toward the same shared destiny. If we believe in God, this is what is going to be happen. I would like to just read, before I read it, I would like to conclude with the timeless words of Mahatma Gandhi, that an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. And I really thank you very much. Want to read a poetry, even considering this was not in my plan, but I have written this poetry. This poetry was written in Hindi and Urdu language, but it was poetic translation was done in English and presented several places. I'm just reading to you in English, specifically for your group. You are a handful. You are a handful, but do not think you are just handful, that you are in the hand. No, you are a handful, but don't think that you are in the handful. All the seeds in your handful will scatter far and wide, decorating the lush fields spreading across the world, and one day they will show their colors. These seeds will become food for the weary, hungry souls, for those who fall asleep and with empty bellies, waiting for the morning sun to rise, because they have a faith that perhaps someone will come and save them from hunger, from wild beasts, may even from poverty, grasp tomorrow. This is all our religions. Whatever the religion you are, they believe in that. But the fire of hatred, but fire of hatred, it will not burn forever. Clouds are coming on the horizon and they will extinguish that flame. The only love and peace will reign. Listen, sow your seeds. Sow your seeds in the right soil. It's very important for you. Lest the fear of fire wash them away in the rain. Do not forget, you are a handful. Yes, you are a handful, but don't think that you are a handful. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for listening to me. And I'm open here to answer your questions and answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abbas. And that was very encouraging for our enterprise here as well, to know that it's worthwhile and it's making a difference. And you also gave us some practical suggestions about conversations with our neighbours, and potentially and about building trust and in making this group as inclusive as possible, including and we have had atheists and humanists and so on, but perhaps we could have more presentations from them as well, because we all want the same thing, and in our daily lives we coexist quite well, so we can also learn from each other in forums like this. So I'd like to invite participants to use the reaction button to form an orderly queue for asking questions or making comments. And we have about 30 or 40 minutes, something like that. Ahmed.
Yeah, thanks, Abbas. That was fantastic. Beautiful talk. I'm wondering whether for this rise of armament, is the basis justice among the people and mistrust? These two factors are destroying the world. Whether lack of justice and lack of possibility of all these mistrust that is in the world is causing all that increase in armament, destroying our lives. Everybody, that last year, I think I read somewhere that every Australian has to pay $79 more from their taxes for armament, just for armament, extra increase in the armament. So I'm wondering whether mistrust and lack of justice, these two factors are causing all that issues in the world, and whether the world parliament has to be established where they discuss these things.
Thank you, Ahmad. Thanks for your question. I think your question is more related towards the recent war in the Middle East. Am I right?
No, generally all these wars, Ukraine, many wars has come in the last 30 years or so after World War II.
Yes.
And then we see all these increasing armaments. Like, for example, I like astronomy, and I look at there is a race between China and America to go and establish something on the moon. Why can't we do it together? And then why can't the Chinese and Americans do it together? I mean, this mistrust and injustice is totally wrong, isn't it?
Ahmad, actually, your question, you have answered very correctly yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me go a little bit behind. Let me go into the Second World War. When Hitler was in power, how many people really were having the courage to stand against the Hitler? He killed almost 1 million Jews. He literally killed that. And I'm asking a question to everyone, whosoever is in this platform, very openly. How many people will like to name their son Hitler? You will like to take name of your son, maybe Ahmad, Abraham, all the religious name, you take it, you will like to do it. You like James, bring out whatever the names you want. You can have it. But none of you will like that they should name their son Hitler. So what this guy has done, that when he was existing, he killed many, many people. And at that time, the things as they started when he was killed, then the books started writing about him, then the things started writing about him that, look, that's what done, and nobody wants to be Hitler. His symbol even not appreciated. I mean, I will not take a few people who are just radical background is showing all those symbols and other things. I just don't want to mention about them. They have their way to do it. They want to do it. But I will say the majority of the population of the world believe that Hitler has not done good things. Now, let's come back on this time. I will not take any name of any other people. You have very rightly mentioned that if we are doing even you mentioned about the research on the moon, how good it could have been that the few countries come together and do this research. Because these are the resources provided to you if you believe in any faith by the God. That's what you believe in. You say that the God has created the moon, God has created the sun. I'm not going into more details of the religious backgrounds, but that's what they say all the time. So these are the all things, whatever environment in the world today you have, whatever the oxygen you have, whatever the trees you have, whatever the rivers you have, water you have, the God has given it to you to enjoy this for the mankind develop in peaceful environment. God has not given it to kill each other or occupy that. Let me occupy every drop of the water and let the thirst should be on the third world country and people should die because of third water. No, not at all. Now, third scene I am coming, and it will answer more your questions. How many Australians you really find who believe that there should be war? How many of us are saying that the war is good? No. But probably we are not able to say in the way we should say. Like everywhere in our mosque, our temples, our churches, our synagogue should have the slogan that we are one. We welcome everyone. We should mention like this. We should do that. We should bring the people together rather than saying we are the best. We are the chosen one. No, everyone is chosen one. God has created even the people who have the no faith. That's what should be our belief. And we believe into that God has created to everyone. Those people who believe in faith, everyone, whether they are from the Abraham background or, Christian, Jews, Muslims, or whatever you go in the faith, Baha'is or Ibrahim, Ismailis, whatever you go, they all believe in the same thing. So my friend, I want to come back on that. These all wars, whatever are happening, they are happening because of few individuals, individual interest, nothing more than that. And I wish that there should be the peace as soon as possible. Otherwise, what we are going to give it to our kids, our children, our grandkids, it will be a very sad life story. We'll pass on to them hate. Let's not do that. Let us pass peace to them, love to them.
Yeah, Abbas, I have another question
Yes,
that wonders me. United Nations, I've been sitting and looking at the sessions they have had, and all they argue is sitting against each other and saying statements against each other. Perhaps United Nations has to change completely its attitude and look at what is fair in the world among nations and try to establish rules about fairness in the world.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I certainly believe that the DFAT, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, everywhere in the world, these departments are existing. These foreign services, foreign ambassadors, they should play an important role to make these sort of changes in the United Nations bodies. And I even go a little bit more than that. What you're saying, I would suggest that United Nations should have a very strong interfaith lobby working there. I don't see any interfaith bodies. They may be existing, but it's not really visibly seen that interfaith bodies are working. There should be a full body of maybe 700, 1,000 people all over the world, interfaith leaders. They should be together. They should stand together also to bring the religions together, to bring down our differences and bring people together, think in the same line that we are one. We are one.
There's some bodies there, like Baha'i Faith has got a organization that is supporting imagination, but I guess they don't give priority in looking at all the issues in a fair way rather than sitting against each other and arguing this is right and that's right.
Baha'i Faith is doing very well, and I'm in contact with few people from the Baha'i community. They are doing it quite well. Parvez and all those people, you certainly must be knowing them, who are leading the Australia's things. I'm in contact with them. We invite them also, and you people are doing quite well, certainly. But we have a very less number of the people, and what I'm trying to say that all faiths should come together. What happened? We have our own work. We have to raise our families, get our kids studying in schools, shopping, cleaning, lawn moving, everything. We do that, and the job for Interfaith just comes out a very little type of volunteer work. But probably I would certainly recommend that Interfaith dialogues should be on the macro level, which are existing, but it should also be a united platforms. We should do it on a united platform, and we should do it more regularly. So I'm certainly working on some of these parts with some of the interfaith groups, and I would love that your group also should be included, and it should be a wider spectrum.
Thanks. I better start. There are 3 people raised their hands. Thanks.
Thank you, Ahmed, for the question. Fasihuddin, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks, Brother Abbas. Very nice talk about the current situation as well as the context. My question is, we are always discussing the interfaith. Looks like interfaith looks like the religion is responsible for all this conflict. But if we analyze or do the academic research, do we have any data that how many conflicts or wars or divisions or hatred based on religious differences? Please let me know if you have any data. To me, whatever I have studied so far, all the wars and hatred, division within the society is caused by the politicians, and that they use the religion as a tools to divide people everywhere. Even here in Australia, there are few politicians, they are unleashed, and they're vomiting hatred against one community to another community, and they are gaining lots of popularity and support as well. Can you give some light on these issues in terms of religious data?
Thank you. Thanks, Fasi. For everyone else, Fasi is a very senior person in the Indian Crescent. He's the founder, member, and secretary of Indian Crescent, and he's working on the interfaith sector a lot, and is a good speaker for you in future. So, thanks, Fasi, asking me this question. Actually, the Institute of Economics and Peace in Sydney, here in Australia, has done some research, and I have yet to find it out a real paper which says that during the last 10 years period of time, whatever the wars has happened, it has happened because of the religious differences. There's not a single war anywhere in the world available or in my knowledge which has happened because of the religious differences. Wars are happening only for either for the power, either for the oil, either for the some minerals inside, or power for grabbing the more lands, or showing the world that we are the topmost. And this is what is happening. I don't have data on that, but what you have asked me, I think it's very important that we should really request these institutes to put it up some research paper and show what maybe some percentage, maybe 1%, 2%, they can say the religious differences. Religious differences are just used as a tool, which you have mentioned rightly. They are just used because there has to be some excuse. You have to find out some excuse when you are lifting somebody's uh, leader from one country to other country, or killing that, or taking the power, or spreading your boundaries, or flying to other country and killing their women and kids and other things. This is all because of power. Nothing more than that. This is not justified in any religion. They cannot justify it. They cannot say that my religion says that kill to that religion. No. None of them can say if they are true believer. So I will certainly, it's a very important point for me also to work on that. And that's what is in my knowledge, which I share with you.
Thank you, Vasi, for the question. Roseanne.
Hello, thank you, Colin. Hello, everyone. And I want first of all to say thank you to Dr. Abbas for a very lovely message. Yes, this message has touched also my heart. I was really full of emotion because this is what we all need. It's not easy to see what is happening inside this world. And when we think about the future of our children tomorrow, after tomorrow, it's not really easier to accept what is happening right now. And yes, since we should not also focus too much on the problem, we have to focus more on the solution. Yeah, that's why I have a commentary and also a question at the end. So first of all, the commentary is regarding, you spoke about the united of the world, the unity of the people. So I think that in general, everybody knows, we know that we must come together. So since today, with the advanced technology, everything, we can just see the nature. We can ask ourselves, for example, why apples are not growing in Africa?
Roseanne, can you hear her?
I think we lost her.
Okay, I think Roseanne will be back soon. It's possible she can hear us because I think she connects in two ways to get the best reception. Perhaps while we're waiting for Roseanne, can I ask a question just to jump the queue? All right. My question is, how do we tap into the peaceful teachings of all the religions in order to create unity? Because when the religions were fresh and new, there was a spiritual and educational transformation and values transformation, and people were able to unite. And now people are not so much turning to religion. But is it possible to restore that so that we can tap into religions and change society that way? And Roseanne, I think you're back. I'll put you next in the queue.
Colin, thanks a lot for asking this question. Actually, most of the religious leaders say this. And but from the last 3 years or so, what we have done, that, as I mentioned to you, 10 years we are doing this interfaith, very large event in Parliament, where different part of the different faiths comes together. And it is not like reading their books, but really sharing their thoughts on a particular subject which is important, maybe education, maybe on the living together, maybe on creativity, maybe something, blah, blah. We do that. But from the last 3 years, what we find, and I will not hesitate to share that, we find that not much differences come from those people who do not have a faith, actually. And we don't consult them and don't bring them together on the interfaith dialogue. So from last 3 years, at least I know, I'm promoting this concept that let the people of the faith like us, you, everybody, and let the people who do not have a faith also should come together for making the peace and harmony. And I find that this is really a workable solution. I personally believe that yes, we should follow whatever the religion. For me, the religion is just like a way of life. I was born in a Muslim family, so I'm a Muslim. Probably, if I could have born in some other religion, I could have been different. I don't know. And when I read the other religious books, I keep it in my library. I find very, very comfortable. It's a very personal thing, so I'm sharing it with you. That every Easter time and every Christmas time, I take my grandkids to the churches. And I take them and I tell them that, look, this is what is also, and we follow the same things, what the church is done. And they respect us, and kids develop some sort of feeling about the other religion, respect for the other religion. That's what I see it in Auburn, Turkish mosque. Welcome everybody there. You go there, you will feel very happy. Nobody will tell you that you are non-Muslim, you should not be there inside. You will feel very comfortable. There are the few mosques. Here, there are the temples like my temple. You welcome every religion there, which is a beautiful temple, and some of the people from Indian Crescent have been there actually. I have also been long time back, but I'll be certainly planning soon. Next trip. That's what I was talking to Pervez. I think it is important to go, respect, meet the people, and see something, and come back with the learning. Don't close your mind that yes, I am the best. Where I'm going, they are not the best. No. If you'll go with an open mind, you will come back with some good things from their faith, their religions, their culture, their ethnicities, which may be useful. And that's what feeling we should have it. That's a one thing. Second thing, Colin, answering your question also, thought is coming in my mind. I will share it with you. We love to have an interfaith online event where at least 200, 300 people from Australia can connect. And I will certainly discuss this matter with my organization, and probably will come back to you also, because I do see that you are doing this very religiously. So there are the groups like this Interfaith group in Penrith. Peacemaking group is working in the same line. Abraham group is there of Australia, working very effectively on that. So there are the few groups are there. If we consider in Melbourne, there are people, in Perth, there are the people. So let's do it. Not a particular religion. I would not like to go into that because of time limitation and things. But commonality, we can bring what is common to all of us. What we need it really in this world. Living peacefully in this world. Growing our families nicely, what we needed. Let us share those sort of things. We can certainly arrange some event like that, which may be useful. Thank you.
Thank you, Abbas. And I think you hit the nail on the head with the attitude our children, when they're young, they look to parents and grandparents, and I think that's what makes a difference for the rest of their life. So that's wonderful. Rosine, are you back with us?
Yes, thank you, Colin. Sorry, I have an issue with my Zoom. I don't know if maybe the telephone. I will keep my camera off, so maybe I could speak longer.
Sure.
Yes, Yes, I was about to say that I was saying before that the differences we have between us is the wisdom is to bring us together normally, and I think everybody knows it. By if we ask ourselves or if we observe the nature, we can see the result. Why, for example, we have differences. Why apples are not growing in Africa and bananas are not growing in Europe? You know, God made this wisdom to bring us together so we can understand, oh my God, I don't have everything. I need the other side. I need to go. And this is the way for us to learn cooperations. So how I can go, for example, to Africa and say, sure, having banana, and how, for example, we can send apple to Africa. This wisdom is normally has a sense to bring us together, but unfortunately, for me, it's this problem is about individual attitude, because what we want exactly, God gives us the freedom of choosing the good and the bad. But if personally I wish to be good, I will be good. I will look for the way how to be good. But the problem, uh, if we speak about the United Nations, the politicians, we can see they are all person, they are all individual inside those institutions. And why they cannot come with the power, all the power they have, when they cannot find the solution or solve those problems, because we can just say it directly, they don't want it. Or people inside those institutions, they don't want it. They don't want the well-being of everybody. That's the real problem. So now my question is, how are we going, for example, to influence or to as a religious or as believer or whatever, as just a person who wants the well-being, who wants the peace inside this world, how we can come together and influence or I don't know, helping to for the changing, because I can say there is also a positive side of what religious people are doing. We can see that is terms of control and power. Unfortunately, the religion is not controlling the world. It's the politicians are doing, like other people said before. So now we have to focus on how we can bring this positive energy to use this power from the religion to influence everybody individually, that we have to come to choose the bad way to construct the world in search of destroying the world. Yeah, that was my question.
Thank you, Rosalind. Thanks a lot. I saw when you came first time on the line, I saw a beautiful calligraphy on your wall, on your backside. It's a lovely calligraphy figure was there, and I'm taking this as a object and answering it to you. Look, I have, by the way, I have one of the best friends also I have from the African continent. About roughly about 50 years back or 45 years back, I was studying in Europe, and in my university, I have a lot of people from various countries, from African countries. So I learned their foods and everything's, from the people from Nigeria, Sudan, and Ethiopia, and Zimbabwe, and so many other countries. They were together. So we lived together as a multicultural students, and we learned each other's traditions and other things. So it was a really very, very nice experience. Here in Australia, our Ethiopian and Sudanese community are playing a very important role from the continent, and some of the people are doing quite well also here. Look, my suggestion is that if we will, it is very easy, and people have done in past, that they, from their religious book, they find the common things which is their book, and they have gone into the discussion and roundtables, and they come conclusion that, look, this is the same thing in our religion, so we are the same, or something like that. I want to give you a creative idea while I mentioned about the calligraphy on your wall. Why not we use the creativity as a tool and used by the interfaith community. Every religion is having their own writing, scriptures, creativity written in a very different way. Why not we use that creativity and bring the world together on one platform, maybe by the way of fine arts or by the way of poetries, literature, music, or film industry, and bring the world together where we can really share it. How sad is that, Rosie? How sad is that? That in the African continent we have almost everything. You take the name of the mineral that is existing there. Every minerals we are taking away from them. Few companies in the world all the time digging it there, taking out all the money. People of African continents are fighting exactly like this. What India and Pakistan used to fight earlier, or even now also. The same things are happening, and people are killing each other because of their ethnic differences, not because of the religious differences, and they are converting the ethnic differences into the religious differences. What about we bring one element like creativity together? You have a beautiful rhythm. Best rhythm in the music industry are from Africa. The best dancing rhythm are only in Africa, nowhere else. So you have a really excellent amount of the creative talent. We should use it, bring the people together. This is just one example I'm saying it. Certainly African countries should have the more, I don't know, and I'm writing down in my books also, I will study on that. I'm not really aware how much the interfaith section is active in the African continent. I don't know. But I will certainly study on that part for the next meeting whenever it happens. And I will make myself available on that. But I think that there should be more active interfaith dialogue should happen in Africa also. It is important.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosin, for the question. And also to Abbas for bringing in the creative arts aspect, which is something probably best experienced in live rather than through Zoom meetings. So definitely worth considering. Ahmed.
Yeah, I just want to say that Baha'is are celebrating Rizwan in 2 weeks' time, and there would be celebrations of art in the Baha'i House of Worship. So please come and see that. But I'd like to say something else about our talk tonight. I have a metaphor that I always use, and that is to say that if you have a bottle of a glass of water and you drop a dot of ink into it, it takes time, but eventually that ink will distribute everywhere in that. And I think you're right that we have to have these macro groups that tend to have unity of faiths together. And then if you have a critical mass of these groups, that becomes that drop, and then it will go into that glass and will distribute all over the world. And I think we need that. We need to establish these groups that unite the people of our various religions and races, and try to establish unity and peace among in the world.
Sure. Yes, I agree fully with you, Abbas.
I just had another thought. And yeah, I was thinking about how easy it is for countries to become disunited over political issues, which are real issues, and also internationally. You know, there may be hope for leaders, world leaders, to come around the table again, as they have tried to do before, and try to improve international relations. But when they do that, they're going to be looking for people to support them. In other words, the people of every country will need to be different from what they are now. Need higher values, a consciousness of oneness, a selflessness, all those virtues which you mentioned in your presentation. So I'm thinking maybe interfaith dialogue is part of it, learning about each other and learning how to talk, and especially learning how to listen. That's the hardest thing. We're just stuck on our ideas, and that's where politics creates division, because we're not really listening. But I guess my comment is that what we're doing is part of that process through interfaith, but also we had a talk a week or two ago about parenting. You know, parents have a wonderful role, and teachers, and culture, and interfaith. We really need the world to change at the grassroots, so that so leaders have a fighting chance of making a difference when they want to.
True.
Veronica, please.
Thank you. Firstly, Abbas, was such a wonderful talk. My comment, I think, was similar to what Colin, you kind of stole my thunder. But I think one of the alternative ways, aside from the interface, which is very important, is that if within families we can model, certain kinds of behavior, like lack of prejudice and the desire to always be inclusive. It's almost like building community from the family upwards. And like Ahmed said about that drop of water, because I think, if you interact with someone who's very peaceful and who's very loving, you're kind of attracted to that person. And then their neighbors feel that. And it's like growing from a little tiny spot. And I guess it's that, one family influences the friends of that family, and one calm child in school who is kind and compassionate and doesn't judge where people are from. All those little tiny things, which on the surface seem as though they're not going to win against leaders who start wars and do terrible things. But over time, that's actually, I think, what's going to change society. It's those little tiny seeds that sprout up everywhere in lots of families, because you change your family, and then your family kind of has an influence, not change, but has an influence on its neighbors, and then the neighbors on the community, and slowly over time. Yes, it's not fast, but it's probably the surest way of actually getting a society where people are united, because they don't have those prejudices, where they care as much about how their family next door is doing as they do about how their own family is doing. And then they shun war, and they don't really want to fight. Anyway, it's basically, I think, just saying that we have to probably start very small, but have faith that that very small will eventually, over time, grow so large that it will, it'll cause a paradigm shift.
Yes, Veronica, you are very right, and I certainly agree with that. We certainly need to do that. I mean, you see that from last 3 months or 1 year, 1.5 years approximately. People are killing, kids are killed, and you see them on the TV news. How distressed you feel like that. Nobody is happy. No one is happy. What is happening, irrespective, whatever the faith you are, whatever the country you support, whatever the leader you support, none of you will say that it is good that 100 women have been pulled out from a place, or 100 kids have been killed in the school, or you will not like this. Nobody wants that. And but this does happens, and there's a voice of the interfaith. Solidify voice of the interfaith is needed on that. We should stand up by probably using creativity, whatever we are using, something like that. We should stand up, and we should stand as a united voice. without supporting A or B religion or A or B ethnicities or A, B leaders. We need to. It should be seen in our work that yes, we feel very upset when we see that, how much money will be needed to rebuild what is happening there now and what may happen in future also. This is the money where from it will come. I mean, every one of us is now feeling very bad. Petrol price is up and up. We have to pay it. It means you have to reduce your grocery bill to pay that off. Something, or you reduce your saving, pay that money, or change your habits, not driving at all. Physically, it is not possible. So there are the issues. And safety. How many people have canceled their flights? People were stuck up in their flights. They couldn't go from one place to other place. So this is all what is happening in the world. It's really very sad. Rather than we keep on saying sad, let us unite our voice by using some tool, which is maybe a creative tool or maybe interfaith tool or whatever is tool. We should come together in one platform and we should say we need a peace. We are not worried who is wrong or right. We are not saying, we are not the judge for that. You cannot say until unless you are seriously involved into the research of that. Then only you will find. Otherwise, you will bias. Otherwise, you will bias. You like A country, you like A leader, you like B leader, you will be biased. So until unless you are really thorough, put up yourself into the research and go through that and see that months and months, then you will come back and your decision may be right, that this person is not going good, this person is doing bad. But certainly every one of you, without doing any research, will say that whatever is happening in the war in those countries, it is not good. Their children is killed, it's not good. Every one of you will say that. So why not we join as a voice? We say that, look, we don't need any more killing in the world. Let's discuss on the table. Let's come on one table and sort it out the matters, at least. And why A person should have a right to kill the B people? I don't have an answer for that. And this is the sad story of that. Sorry, I don't want to take you to the other direction, but certainly I humbly request that our interfaith people, apart from our religious conversations, we should be practical also, and we should play an important role, because once we are doing interfaith, it means we are respecting the other religion. And you all respect, we all respect. So if we do that respect, why not we take additional step to raise the peace level in the world? Maybe few of us today, tomorrow maybe more. So something we need to do that. It's just a thought, and I request that please do not leave this talk just like that. But let's find it out what else we can do it in future.
Thank you very much, Abbas. That's an excellent thought to finish on. This particular group, we've focused on learning how to listen, learning about other religions, and making a small contribution that way. But you've shown us there's potential for different interfaith groups to learn from each other about how to be helpful in the world. And I think I'm sure if the people of the world can see that faiths cooperate, and more than cooperate, appreciate each other and work together, then that's going to be a very great contributor. So at least for Sydney and Australia, but potentially for wherever we come from, there may be some opportunities we can think about, and you've talked about that. So on behalf of everyone, I want to thank you very much, Abbas, for the excellent presentation.
Thank you very much, Abbas, and also
Thank you, Santa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for your encouragement.
Thank you. Thanks. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night, all.
you.